On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
a BH Cosmetics Sculpt and Blend 2 10-piece brush set. I was like, should I do this on the 10th day of Christmas? But I went ahead and did it today because it is one set. It is on BH Cosmetics website, and I believe I paid $19.99 for it. I will annotate somewhere how much I paid. Okay, so let's just talk about this kit. This is the Sculpt 2. I do not own the Sculpt 1, and after getting this Sculpt 2 kit, I went back on the website to look, do I really need Sculpt 1? Like, is this a two-parter? Am I missing something? And there are a few different brushes, but basically kind of the same thing. So I decided that I didn't want to get it for now. Maybe one day I'll go back and get it, but I kind of have some downfalls with this set. So let's just get into it. So I'll talk about the first brush, and this is the number 123. This is a flat top Kabuki, very much like Sigma, It Cosmetics. Everybody has these flat top Kabukis. Now, what I will tell you about this is very soft. I used it today. You can see it's dirty. I have other flat top synthetic Kabukis that I use, like my Sigma one. I used it like crazy until I fell in love with beauty blenders or Real Technique sponges. I don't typically reach for brushes for my foundation anymore, but today, for the sake of review, because I wanted to see how dense this was, and it's what I pretty much thought. It's pretty soft, so it's kind of flimsy. Like, it does a good job, and it did do, I didn't get a lot of brush strokes. Some foundation brushes, I tend to find that I get brush strokes, and I did not get any brush strokes, so that's a good thing. But it was kind of on the flimsy side. I think I like a little bit of a firmer type brush to apply my foundation. So this is the first time I used it today to apply this foundation because, like I said, I've used synthetic flat top Kabukis many years until I discovered the beauty blenders. So for the sake of the video, I wanted to review it. So I did only use this today. I will admit that. But it pretty much confirmed my thought process when I feel it. It's very flimsy. So it is a nice brush, but it's not something that I'm really going to reach for, on a everyday basis. So just wanted to let you know about this one. So this is the number 123. The next one is the 124 Tapered Face Blending Brush. Now this one is a very nice soft brush. So this one I think would be a good one for, I've just used it pretty much for powder to set underneath my eyes or to blend out contour. This is a very nice, you can see it's tapered, so it does have like a pointed end there. It's a nice brush. I can't complain about it. It's soft, it's, it's dense, but soft enough. Like this one, I don't like that it's bendy. This one, I don't mind that it's bendy because I want it to blend in stuff. So this one I want it to apply. I want it to leave a layer. And this one, the fact that it bends, it has some give, I don't mind it. But, I have this brush in other brands, so it's kind of an addition to my collection. So this is going to go into, I am going to start doing makeup in January, so this is going to go into my kit, and it's just a nice brush, but it's not something that I'm going to reach for all the time, and I have other brushes just like it. So again, it is what it is. It's a good brush, but that's what it is. Okay, so the number 125 is the Tapered Contour Brush. Now this one I have used this as contour before. I got this like right after Thanksgiving. And this one has some stray hairs that stick out. So that's this brush here. Let me compare it so you can see it's thinner than the 124. So you can see it's on the thinner side than the 124. So it's really good to get into the contour of your cheeks and your temples. Excuse me. But today I used it for my concealer. So what I will tell you is that to set concealer, I have to bake my concealer because today I just set my concealer with this and I noticed that I had creasing already because of the products that I chose to use. So I really prefer baking my concealers now. And if you have like wrinkly eyes, or if you have fine lines underneath your eyes, bake your concealer, put the extra powder on, and then just get a really nice dense brush and work it out. That's what I do. So it's a nice brush for contouring on me, but I don't feel like it got good enough because it is so soft. I don't feel like it got really good setting effect for underneath my eyelids. So it's a nice brush, but again, like I'm telling you, I guess I just have so many brushes that I prefer that this is kind of like on the, I don't know. I just don't know. So these 3 brushes, although they're very nice, they're going to go into my kit. They're not going to be for me for every day. All right. The next brush is the Precision Blush Brush. Now this is a really nice brush. It's quite small. I will show you it compared. So there are those 3 brushes that I've been talking about. And today I actually used this brush because I grabbed a different blush brush. I used this for contouring, and it worked really nicely. It worked nice to set it and then to help blend it out. This would be really great for highlighting. This would be really great for highlighting. This is also good for your blush. If you want a more precisioned blush application, but I don't think I would use it as a blush brush. I think it's more, for me, it's going to work more for contouring or highlighting. So because of the smallness, I like a fluffier blush brush because I want to build my blush. Like I want to apply a light layer of blush and then work more on to get the more pigmentation or deepness that I want. I don't want to put a streak on my face and then try to blend it out, if you know what I mean. So this brush, it's a really nice brush, but intended purpose of blushing, I don't think I would use it for that. I'm going to use this mostly for contour or for highlighting. All right, let's talk about this brush. This brush is the number 127 Angled Face Shader Brush. So this brush is for contouring. After I used this brush for contouring, blending it out and everything, I was like, let me just go ahead and do a more precise application. So this one is really good for getting that precise application, and then it's soft enough that you can go back on the vertical side and blend it out if you want to. So really nice for getting that perfect line on your nose, perfect line on your cheek, even, just if, say you want to apply your contour and then go back with this brush and blend it out. It works either way, but it's a nice brush. I'm just not into that defined of contouring. So somebody who wants a really defined contour, this is going to be a really good brush for them. It's just, I'm not into that. I'm more into bronzing and having a light look. I'm not into all that Instagram type pictures for the most part. Like sometimes I will do an Instagram type eye, like I'll do a wing liner or whatever, but for the most part I'm wearing natural makeup, because if I'm making the effort of putting on makeup, I'm probably going somewhere, and I don't want people to, the first thing they see is my makeup. I want them, to get to know me or whatever. But this is a really nice brush. So moving on, number 128 is the Small Deluxe Blending Brush. Now this one I used differently today because I had been using this after I baked my concealer. I was using this to really get underneath my eye and to get all that powder out. So it's really good for that. It's really good for removing your powder after you've baked. Today I used this. I bought over Black Friday or Cyber Monday, I bought the Kathleen Light Squad from ColourPop, and there is a matte white color. And because ColourPop eyeshadows are better used with synthetic brushes, I just dipped it in and applied it all over my eye. I feel like it's a little bit too fat or too thick for that, so I probably will not do that again. The main sole purpose for me with this brush would either be to blend out something. Say I just made it, I took my shadow too high, or I felt like I just really needed to blend it out. This brush is going to be used for that, which is intended. That's the name, blending brush. or it's really good for removing that baked powder underneath my eye. So this brush is a really nice brush. And yes, let's move on. Number 129, small round blending brush. So number 129 is basically just the smaller version of this brush. So it's just a smaller version of this brush. And what I used this one for today was to apply my outer corner. I don't think I will use this brush for that again because it just did not get precise enough. I have very small lid space. I didn't like it to put like my outer corner, application. I don't think it got dark enough. So this brush would be a really good brush for blending in the crease or also for removing powder underneath your eye. Or if you wanted to use this, you could use this as a nose contour brush. This is a really good brush for that because it's small enough to do that. Small enough to put like a very precise highlight. So this brush is a good brush. It's nice and fluffy, or nice and soft, but dense enough, but fluffy enough. So these brushes probably would be my two favorites out of the whole collection. I like these blending brushes. All right, the next brush that I'm going to talk about is number 130, the large shader brush. This brush reminds me of a concealer brush. I tried to use this brush today to apply my ColourPop on my lid, but if you're intending to have ColourPop shadow just be wow and pigmented and make a statement, your fingers are the best tools for that, for applying on the lid. This brush is just too, it's really large and it just reminds me of a concealer brush. I would in no way think that this would be a shader brush. If it was maybe a little shorter, maybe, but this brush, what's its intended purpose, its name, I don't think so. I think this would be a good, if you had a wet cream shadow, this would be good for applying that because it won't, absorb all your product. I think it's just a little bit too large. So this brush is more like a concealer brush for me, or if I had a cream shadow, I would use this brush. Two brushes that were complete fails for me are the nose contour brush and the precision detailer brush. So the nose contour brush looks like this. I've used it and I'm like, how do I do this? So I guess you dip it in the powder and you're supposed to only get like, because it's a V, powder on the ends and then do your nose. I'm not sure because you really have to dip it because it's synthetic to get the powder, and if you dip it too hard, you're going to get powder on the inside of it. So I don't know. I think the only way this brush would work as a nose contour brush is do your contour, and if you feel it's too stark, if you feel you look kind of like a drag queen with it, because sometimes I feel like people that contour their noses really, it just reminds me of drag queen makeup. And this brush would be good to apply in powder or a light powder and then kind of bring that down. I didn't use it that way because I don't over contour my nose, but I did try to use it as a contour and I just didn't like it. I didn't care for it. It's not something I'm going to reach for again. I'm going to probably pass this brush along or sell it or something. It's just not something for me. The next brush is the Precision Detailer brush. This brush is just too long. Look how long that is. That's really long and it's kind of stiff. So if it was a little bit shorter, if it was like to where the white is off, it would be great to get in there. But because it's so long, it's kind of flimsy and I just didn't like it for that. It's okay for underneath the eyes, but because it's stiffer, it's just weird. It's hard to explain because I say it's flimsy, but then I say it's stiff. Because it's long, it's flimsy, and when you're doing underneath your eyes, I was flicking powder all over. So I don't care for this brush. I didn't like it. And these two are the complete fails of the whole brush set for me. So that was it. Do I feel that this is like a must? I really feel like if you got this free, it's a great brush set. But I don't think it's something you need to run out and grab it's just, I have so many other brushes just like these in my collection. I just thought, oh wow, it's a Sculpt and Blend. I really need small brushes for defining in my eyes or contouring or whatever. And I was kind of let down because a lot of these brushes are the same in my collection, and these two just definitely did not work. And I feel like these brushes are meant for somebody that has a larger lid. So if you're like me and you have hooded lids or small lids, may not be the brush set for you. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, if you like me, give me a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and Merry Christmas.